Hello, everybody. This is the book club book people for meeting number 4 of the Power Now, featuring Markiplier. No, I'm just kidding. It's me,
Hello,
Roy.
everybody.
Hello, everybody. This is Markiplier, featuring Roy and featuring
Steffi? Was that my
Brett.
cue?
Yeah, that's your cue. You did it. You did it.
Alright.
Next person, go.
I
God,
already
Joseph.
said my name.
Oh, did you guys like? Yeah, I think you guys like talked over each other. And then Blake.
I'm Blake.
He's Blake.
Hello.
Joseph.
You ready for me to start? All right. So,
You gotta
reading.
introduce yourself first.
I already
already
introduced
introduced
myself. I
yourself.
said Joseph.
Oh. Did
There's a
everybody
You
bug
weren't
on
paying
my monitor.
attention.
Did everybody do
No,
it
I
over
waited.
each
I
other?
went after Steffi. I waited until it
No,
was
you're
quiet.
supposed to do last. It's supposed to be Steffi,
Oh.
then Brett.
I
And
did
Blake.
after Steffi, and then I did also during when Joseph was introducing
Why
himself.
does
I
that
do it
order
twice.
better?
Oh,
What,
yeah,
now you
that
want to
makes
start
sense.
over?
No, it's fine. We'll keep going. The
Start
more,
over.
the more of a clusterfuck it is, the more natural it is.
The more entertaining it is.
Yeah, the more
Hey,
entertaining.
I'm
We're in
going
the
for
now,
definite
baby.
withdrawals.
We're in the
so-
now, baby. Joseph, you gotta lead us off.
Alrighty, so going through chapter 6, there's a couple things that I want to talk about. One thing he confused me on was he's talking about the outer body experiences. I saw this in a way as like him saying that you're not going to the now, like that, because you're not supposed to leave your body or some goofy shit like that. That one confused me there. But then when he was talking about grieving for the loss or letting go, how you can tap into that, that's like tapping into it. I went through that after the loss of my mother, and it like funeral, the day of the funeral, even the day when it all happened, didn't cry at the funeral, didn't do anything. Hit me a few weeks later, and then for the longest time, I was always depressed and just always down about it. Like even to the point of blaming myself, like why didn't I see the signs of what was going on at the hospital, stuff like that. It wasn't until I accepted it that she's not going to be here, changing, and come to find out that was, I guess, being in the now without even knowing it from what he was saying.
You're right, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, I didn't even realize that. I'll say, like, once I came to terms with everything, it's really peaceful. It's like surreal. It's weird.
Good. That's
then,
good.
yeah, then there's another thing he was talking about, not acting out on. This is the funny story. Not acting out on emotion, rage, and anger. Today I was putting a fucking cabinet together, and we had to take it apart like fucking 12 times because my dyslexic self kept on putting everything in together backwards and upside down, and it wasn't working out. And I'm just smiling and laughing about it the whole time.
we had to dismantle the
And he had to
cabinet,
make
like,
the comment, "Are you in the now?" I was like, "I guess." I was like, "I'm not smashing it."
It's like the way it comes off is like antagonistic, but I don't like mean it to be like antagonistic. But it's just the way that it sounds. It's just like he's like upset or like someone's like messing around. I'm like, are you in the now? Just like
Oh,
it's
I was
like,
pissed.
It's like if someone's like angry and you like ask the question like, are you upset? And they're like, fuck you, son of a bitch. Don't you dare
guess
ask me that question.
I guess
But
that's
you
being
read
in
the
now
book
too.
and instead you just laugh.
It's like, well, even dealing with fucking irate customers at work, just smiling and laughing at them, I guess that's considered a now too. I don't let them get the best of me. I just have fun.
Yeah, it's not that important. You realize like fucking this corporeal realm is not
But
like
yeah,
everything.
I assembled everything. I did everything backwards on it. Like the bottom was inside out. There was a part for the magnet doors that was the wrong fucking way.
Yeah.
It was funny. It was great.
Do you feel like before you read this book you would have just been really pissed
Oh,
off?
I'd have been pissed off. Like I'm that type of person when shit I get frustrated, shit I break it. Like I'm bad. But reading the book didn't happen.
Nice. That's good.
Learned a thing or two from it.
He learned something. He has like takeaways from the book. The book has
Yeah.
bettered
See,
him.
not so bad. I remember when you hated it the first.
Yeah, I'll start like it's like in the very beginning. It's
still
like
hate
it's
it.
hard to interpret what he's talking about. It's like keep in mind
Yeah.
before this I never read books. I never cared for reading because of school, and this is my second book reading. So
I've been slowly trying to condition him out of like hating books.
You put him on this one. This is your second book that you read.
No, yeah. Well,
Is
we
this
did
why
the
we
Tom
started
Cats.
book club in the first place?
Yeah.
No. I've had him read like books here and there and stuff like that way before book club. Remember you had like the computer science book I bought you and stuff.
yeah, it's just me. I never.
Boring.
schools
He
condition me,
likes
they'll
computer
fucking hate it.
science.
That's true. School does condition you to like.
Yeah, school conditions you to hate like bettering yourself.
And I'm not gonna lie, when I first started this book, I was fucking hating it. I didn't want shit to do with it. I was cussing like, "What the fuck is he talking about?" I felt stupid listening to it because I didn't know what the hell like he's talking about. It was just gibberish to me.
I'm not gonna lie, the preface, like where he like was homeless on the park bench for 2 years,
Yeah.
I don't think that's good marketing.
No, no. But he's happy.
That's
It's better
true.
than most of us have.
Maybe
Yeah.
it is good marketing.
It is, yeah, he's happy with nothing. Like that's way better than any of us.
Yeah. Most people want money and everything else, and to think to be happy, and he's just happy sitting on the park bench, happy
You
with
know what?
life.
I do gotta say though, like a lot of people that are in the pursuit of materialistic stuff, like when you drive by their fucking these nice ass houses, like I always noticed, I'm like, dude, they're like gone, like all fucking day. Like they don't even get to enjoy their fucking house that they
Yeah,
worked so
no,
hard.
they're grinding all
grinding.
day.
Yeah, I got friends that are like that. They got a lot of nice stuff, but they work nonstop. They work like 6 day work weeks, working like 10 hours a shift.
Yeah, and then
I know people
what
like
they
that.
take home is like maybe like 1% of what they earn their employer.
Well, when I was a forklift driver at Fiberbond, I was doing 5 or 6 16s, and it's like when you get that one day off, you just sleep. You can't even enjoy it. It's like, what the fuck? What's the point of making all that money if you can't even enjoy it?
Yep. Yeah.
That's the point. That's the entire purpose of it.
I'll keep my retail job working 28 to 32 hours a week. I like that. I like having personal time. But all right, that concludes what I wanted to talk about.
All right.
Okay. It's oh shit, it's
Where's
my turn
time?
then. It's my
Where's
turn.
time?
Okay. He said a bunch of words, but then he said, "Don't try to understand this like book with like your mind."
With your mind.
And then so like I
That's
gave
what
up
I
on
was
I gave up
doing.
on reading, and no, I'm just kidding. I still read it.
And then
Good.
I tried to just dream about the book.
Don't read, just understand.
I understand. I actually like took the book and I like cut it into pieces and put cheese on it and eat it, and like
And I ate it.
and I absorbed it into my being.
Let me hit you upside the head with the book. Maybe that might work. You just gotta beat it into the head.
I've tried that before.
See, I didn't actually read it. I just put it under my pillow when I slept. So I
Yeah.
absorbed the knowledge.
I absorbed everything in myself. But so there was one concept where he talked about like the illusion of self, and he in this chapter he talked a lot like Buddha, and he said the illusion of self is like basically the belief that you are only your body and your mind, and there's no like there's nothing any like thing beyond that, and that's a very I guess like the scientific approach. It seems like the modern day like consensus is that like you are just nothing but like flesh in a brain, and then when you die you're just gonna be worm food, and there's like nothing beyond that. It's just you're just randomly
Basically
composed
a vessel. That's all you are.
Yeah, you're basically randomly composed like flesh matter and stuff, and your like consciousness and your like everything is just pure random chance, and there's no reason for you to exist, and like that usually leads to like hedonism, right? It's like only pleasure seeking. The people who believe that you're here by pure random chance, you're not here for any particular reason, they just do only drugs and they want sex, and it's just all a hedonistic like lifestyle, because that's kind of like the logical conclusion if that's like what you believe.
There's more to life than just that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it doesn't really make sense, and it's like it's such a bizarre like thing to think of, that you go from absolutely nothing, like pure, like I don't remember anything before birth, and then you're just one person. You're like this singular person in a huge array of people that are conscious beings. It's like,
well,
why?
Go ahead. I was gonna say that how they were talking about the outer body experiences. If you're nothing, you're just here by random chance, and you don't basically have a soul or anything. Then how do you explain outer body experiences? Because I have those quite a few times. They're really scary.
Yeah, and how do you explain like things like people like thinking thoughts that they like never had, or like learning things that they like never like?
Or
There's a lot
having
of
a
things.
deja vu.
Yeah, there's like very weird stuff that kind of just happens that's like outside of yourself. So there's definitely a lot more than just like you're just flesh and bones. Like that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And it also doesn't make a whole lot of sense that like you come into the world like as a conscious being, and like it. So if the understanding is like I come into the world, I'm this conscious being. I see things only through my eyes. And if I were to assume that everybody else is like that too, like everybody else like comes into being and existence, and they only see through their eyes, they only experience the world through their body and their senses, then it's so peculiar that it's like why are people different? It's like why am I me and why are you? It, like by pure random chance, it's like pretty peculiar. It's pretty weird conundrum. But he a lot of this chapter was kind of like it seems to be like a lot of the practical aspect of like how to be more present and how to be like more in touch with like presence and being. And he says I forget exactly what he says, but the gist of what I got from like this chapter was that when like my take is like a balanced take of it. Something I wanted to like talk about was how this book. I remember a big like criticism about this book is that it's just like kind of like heavy-handed or like one-sided and stuff. And I came to like the thought that it's kind of like a medicine when you think about it. It's a corrective action. Like you don't take medicine when you're not sick, right? It's like you have an imbalance, like you have a flu, and then you take your flu medicine, and you take that for like some days or maybe even weeks until you get better. But then you stop taking the medicine when you correct the imbalance. And so this book, to me, my interpretation is that it's kind of like a medicine. It's heavy-handed because it's meant to correct an imbalance. Like, so whenever you read this book and stuff, you need to like take in perspective the balance of things. Like he's not saying you need to explicitly need to be no mind. Like you need to like completely get rid of your mind and annihilate it and like ignore the brain and the mind aspects of life. It's just this is kind of like it's heavy-handed in the sense that he wants you to be very more spiritual and like in the present because it's like a corrective medicine. He wants to like correct an imbalance of because we're so mind dominated that he wants to correct that imbalance. But you need to like keep that in mind. That's like because when you go and you like read through the book, it kind of like almost seems like he wants to like eradicate the mind or eradicate like the body or like the other like human aspects, which is obviously not the case. So I think that's important. But going back to what I was saying earlier, what I got from this chapter is basically when you're thinking useless thoughts, you should focus inwards, like focus on like your breathing and focus on like your body instead, to kind of like I guess train yourself away from thinking about things when it because your mind obviously does have like important uses. Like your mind is very a useful tool for impacting and influencing the world and like changing your life, but it's a balance thing. Like you want to use the mind in like the correct aspect. You want to think about things that require thinking, and then when your mind is basically fighting against you, you're thinking about like how people have wronged you, or you're thinking about like how you can get revenge, or just like petty stupid stuff.
Yeah, you get stuck in that negative loop cycle.
You get stuck in that stuff. And so the important thing is like when basically your mind is doing things that is going counterintuitive against you, you just try to shut it off and you try to focus on like your body instead. You try to pull your attention away from thought and try to put your attention towards your body.
It's like meditating if you want to look at it that way. That's what I got from that when he was talking about that.
Yeah, it definitely is like a meditative thing for sure. But yeah, I mean I didn't want to cover everything in this chapter, so I'll let the girl go next.
Oh, okay. Well, what I got from this chapter, right here. Hold on, let me open the page. It was one, two, three. That was the page. Let's see, where was it at?
Chapter 6
2, 3.
starts on 107.
1, 2, 3. I thought it was really interesting what he said. Um,
Wait, on what page?
1, 2, 3. 123.
Oh,
I just wanted
that's, wait, that's a chapter ahead, I think.
Wait.
No, it's at the end.
No, it's at the end. So
It's
I
at,
was
like,
gonna
the end of
say,
the chapter.
Wait, what?
uh,
End of chapter 6?
yeah, this is towards the end of the chapter. So I
Oh.
realized that I'm the most enlightened here because I'm probably the smallest. Because clearly, right here, as there is more consciousness in the body, its molecular structure actually becomes less dense. More consciousness means a lessening of the illusion of
What
materiality.
the fuck does that mean?
I would like to discuss that. Can you please enlighten me on
Wait,
what
so-
that means? Because
wait,
I've heard this multiple times in like other like circles of, I don't know, spiritual people, and they talk about your body becomes less dense and becomes lighter the more enlightened you are. Or
wait,
like
so is the thing about the Sano trials and like throwing witches in the water, was that true? Or they like they're more dense? They just sink because they're not in the now.
Maybe you're letting your burdens go, like you're not worried about materialistic things.
yeah, as
That's what I
soon
get
as
from
your
that.
habitual state changes from being out of the body and trapped in your mind to being in the body and present in the now, your physical body will feel lighter, clearer, more alive. I guess maybe do people typically feel lighter, and I guess maybe because you're not as burdened by your problems? Like,
Yeah,
is that
like if
Well,
you
you
got
know,
really
Pretty
bad
much.
shit going on and you got a solution for those problems, it's like a big sigh of relief. I've experienced similar things like that. If you got like stressed out about stuff and then you got that sigh of relief, it's like it feels like weight's been lifted off you.
yeah, you know, whenever I'm like sick and stuff, I've noticed that like my mood definitely changes. Like,
Oh, I'm a
how
bitch when I'm sick. I ain't gonna lie about that.
all
if I'm
I know
if
how
I'm
that
sick
is.
and I feel like crap, but if I feel good, it's like I recover much faster and I don't
Mhm.
even like feel sick anymore. So
yeah,
it's
that
like mood is a pretty big
talking
part.
about growing old, and it was funny. I thought it was kind of funny because it says that somebody like asked the question, "Is there any scientific evidence for this?" And his response was, "Try it out, and you will be the evidence."
Yeah.
So
No,
I didn't know what
I
you
like
guys.
that response.
What
Sounds
did
like
you guys think of it though? Like, did
that's
you?
No, I think
Mhm.
that's true. It's like I've always kind of like, I mean, I said this to Troy before, but I said, you know, if you don't think this is true, then why don't you try an experiment for yourself and find out the truth for yourself? It's like why do you need to have an
what's
authoritative
going on up
source and
there?
just try the experiment for yourself? That's the ultimate authoritative source.
Sounds like
Yeah.
wrestling's going on upstairs. Holy crap.
I do think that, like as you go through life, I think a healthy dose of skepticism is very helpful.
Yeah, and you need to know the truth for yourself, like no matter what. Like nobody can tell you what the truth is. Nobody can tell you any of that stuff. You have to experience it and know it for yourself.
Yeah, so and
I
then
think
I did agree with you. I didn't really have any other points on this chapter because I liked it. I just thought that part in particular was interesting, kind of.
yeah. I think this is a chapter I'll probably have to like revisit, honestly. Cuz like I got some parts of it, but it's like it seems like it's a more like practical part of the book. So I definitely want to revisit it and like understand it more. Because
Well, oh, go ahead. Sorry.
he basically says like it was, I think the start of this chapter, he says when you're reading, pay acute attention, basically pay attention to like your body and pay attention to like the book while reading. Did you guys remember that part where basically he was talking
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
how like
Still be aware of what's going on
yeah,
around you, but be
when you're like
focused on what
yeah,
you're
when you're like
on the book.
reading, how you're aware of like your peripheries and what's around you and those types of things. He's basically take some of your attention and put it like on your body when you're reading. It's like practice.
I guess another thing that could be similar too is like when you're focused on one thing and like say for example like when I would color like I could spend hours doing it without realizing like I still hear what's going on around me but I'm focused on that one task. Like flow state's equivalent to the now, I guess you could
Yeah.
say.
I think the flow state's probably the closest thing most people have experienced to the now, like being like present. Okay. So Steffi's done her turn.
Yes, I conclude.
My turn.
Press turn.
Again, more of the same stuff, you know. You are not your body, stuff like that, and more. What would I say? Term synonyms, I guess, like for sin and stuff like that.
I don't know. If we're really now, do we even need words?
True. Can we
Not
not
really.
just like
Language is
intuit?
used to convey ideas, anyways. So
No, all you need is a park bench.
true.
Actually, true.
One part that I really liked was the third page. Yeah, third page, where he says, where he like goes into the italicized text of like the person he's speaking to, i.e., the reader. And he's like, I don't like those words either. They imply there is something wrong with me. I am being judged. And he's like, of course there's something wrong with you. I
I
thought
did
this
like
was
that.
kind of
I
funny.
did enjoy.
Oh,
I
that's
thought
funny.
that
I
was
got
funny.
the audiobook version of that, and they have a female for that part.
It's so relatable.
So relatable. And then he goes, of course there's something wrong with you. You're part of the human race that killed so many people. I was like, God, shut up.
Destroying them.
That's the 10th time you brought it up. But this chapter wasn't bad. I think it was kind of forgettable because it's mimicking a lot of the same stuff that he has been throughout the entire book so far. It has some good points though, like connecting with your inner body. I feel like that's something I've done before, like I guess shutting your mind down and focusing on the task at hand, whatever that may be. Whether it's feeling something or you are playing a sport or physical activity, something like that.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out what else I saw.
You guys all feel like you have something wrong with you?
Yeah.
Multiple things.
Okay, well, we're on the same boat here.
I don't got screws loose. I got bolts and rafters coming down. I definitely got issues.
I
I'm a
guess at
twin
the end.
psychopath.
Yeah.
I mean,
So-
nobody's perfect, and I don't even know like if what would we do if somebody said, "Oh no, I'm perfect."
Yeah,
Like,
see,
what
there's
the fuck?
people out there that
I'd be
just don't
skeptical.
admit to it, and they think they're perfect, and they don't have no denial.
I'm actually the model human being.
Bro,
What you people were
this is
based off
what
of.
peak male performance looks like or
Yeah.
something.
We were made in your image.
You're the cheap copies of the original.
When I have problems, I just crack jokes about them, even if it's horrible to do so. Dark
I
humor.
think it's better to be just open about it and be real, because too many people are too fake. You know, like, and it's not like, I mean, whatever. It's better to be aware of it
Seems
than
too much of
not
a
be aware.
hassle to be fake. I gotta think about being fake. I have to think about what I'm doing and stuff.
Some-
It's too much
some
energy.
Yeah,
people
I don't
are,
have the memory for that. I don't
uh,
have the memory capacity to tell stories.
At the end of the chapter, he like lists some like strengths, I guess, of not letting your thoughts take over. I guess, like slowing down the aging process. I guess so. Like if you have less stress on your mind, you're probably going to live longer. Isn't stress like a big factor in like limiting your age or like
And even your
there's
health, too,
conditions
right?
I mean,
It'll boost
there's
your
Yeah.
been
immune
times where,
system.
like, when I've been super stressed and then I end up getting sick, for example. The
Yeah, this
stress
is
ain't no
his
joke on
next
your
one,
body.
strengthening the immune system.
They do always talk about that, so it's a real thing.
And then just more
Does
of
that mean that
advice.
ignorant people live longer? 'Cause they're always happy, stress free.
Ignorance is bliss.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, that was pretty much it. He just had like some good takes, I think, of strengths, but it was more or less the same thing. I think it was kind of forgettable, not like bad, but it seemed to be very similar to the other chapters, so it didn't really hook me. I don't think. There is something wrong with me though. That's for sure.
Well, let's go.
Well, to me, this like book or this chapter, it seemed like he had like a couple things that it was like kind of like the more practical aspect of things. Like he was trying to basically tell us how to accomplish it.
Hey, Mike just came down. He said food's ready. So after book club, we gotta go get food.
Okay.
That was my turn. Blake.
Blake's turn.
Yay!
Blake's turn.
Yay!
Blake's turn.
I took some notes. So
Go on.
in this chapter, he talks about identifying with the true, deeper self, your inner self, I, your inside you.
Your inner
I guess.
persona.
Yeah, your true. Exactly. I think there was one part he was talking about how it's like depending on how enlightened you are, maybe it was like you could have a ugly your like ugly outer self and then a more beautiful inner self.
That's so true. I'm ugly.
Or you
on
could have
both
like, or they
sides.
could both be ugly, or
Yeah. I think
they could
I
both
think
be
the author,
beautiful,
like,
I guess.
explicitly stated like you're both, like you're ugly in both.
Yeah.
He said you're ugly.
So that's how I
unredeemed
feel.
bastard.
um. Yeah. I also thought it was interesting where he was talking about how if you're connected with your inner self, you will reap health benefits such as living longer and having a better immune system and shit like
That's
that.
true. That's actually
It-
true
it's
though.
true.
It's like having like a good mood actually does increase like your lifespan and like your immune system.
Yeah. So that's
Like,
what I'm saying.
that-
Like,
that's, like, a
if I
real-
get a lobotomy, I'll
Then
live
you'll
longer.
be happy and you'll live forever with the
Yeah.
Steffi said the people living in ignorance, dude, they're just all happy, so they live
Yeah.
longer.
They're all happy.
I can actually
Okay,
attest to that. Oh, go
but the
ahead.
only, which I don't know what sort of health conditions having Down syndrome gives you, because I mean, all the people I've met with Down syndrome are always really happy, but apparently they have shorter lifespans. So maybe it's just, I don't know. That's
they
just something to think
They
about.
get easily frustrated. It could be stress just from getting like
are they happy
frustrated.
though? I mean, they look happy, but it
They
doesn't mean they're
look
like
happy.
eternally
They gotta-
happy.
There's
Gotta
a couple
smile at
people like
somebody
that work at the store. Like for the most part, they're bright and happy people, but they get easily flustered and frustrated.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
mean, I haven't met that many people with Down syndrome, but
Oh, I thought
Sorry.
you had
You
like.
met all of us. What do you mean?
I've met you guys. And then, yeah, I also worked at a grocery store, and there was a couple people there. They were like twins, and it was difficult to tell them apart because they were twins,
Hmm.
not because they had Down syndrome.
Sweet.
Yeah,
Go on.
there's that.
Go on.
One of the points I liked that he brought up was that this is just my note. I put popular religions, or maybe just most religions, they sort of deny the body, because the body is sin or some shit. So it's like, I don't know. I thought it was interesting because I've always heard it's like you are not your body, or however
Yeah,
you want to phrase it.
It's interesting because like he says like he references or talks about how religions like distance themselves from their body, and then he also goes on to say later that like you are not your body as well.
But then he's like, you are your body. Your
Yeah.
inner some
Yeah,
shit.
He's like he kind of like goes back and forth. He's like, you are your body. You're
was getting
not your body,
confused.
You are your body. You know, like I don't understand.
Maybe
Are you reading? Are you in the now?
I always
Only
thought I
if
was
you're in the
like,
now,
now.
you would detect
I'm
that.
thinking of the future when my immortal soul goes up to fucking the pearly white gates and they say you're.
that's so true. And
Off
then you
the
go
hell
to
you
the
go.
fucking, you go to the after
Go
life
to-
gay
you go
bar.
to
then-
weird hell.
And then you end up in purgatory because the devil kicks you out too.
I think he's a big homo.
He loves homos,
That's what
right?
Hollywood told me.
Yeah,
Oh,
not
it's
wrong.
always right.
Hollywood is always correct because they've definitely been to hell and back. Because you seen people in Hollywood, they're definitely devils that have like crawled out of hell.
Really
Yeah, when
fucked
when they're not wearing their makeup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna start wearing makeup.
You're gonna start wearing makeup.
Yeah.
Gonna be a fake Blake.
Yeah,
Fake Blake.
but no, I've heard it's like, see how I always thought of it was like that. I am my brain. I am the brain.
That's what I thought too.
I'm the brain piloting the flesh mech or whatever.
Flashback.
Like flesh
Mhm.
mech, like
Flesh Mac.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like Mechasaurus Rex.
And I don't know. I still sort of feel that way that I'm the brain, but maybe because I'm not
You know-
a very spiritual
You know what,
person.
Blake? You know what I think, Blake?
What?
You're lying to yourself right now. You're definitely not the brain, because as soon as we put down that DDR dance pad, we know what happens. That's definitely not the brain in control right there.
It's the soul.
It's the soul. It's the soul trying to get out. It's dancing. It's dancing way out.
Yeah, so I don't know. Yeah, I'm not a very spiritual person, but it's interesting, I guess, hearing the viewpoints of other people. Yeah. I also what?
No, I didn't say anything. I didn't
Okay.
say those generic response.
Yeah. Anyways, I also like the point about how I don't know. There, I guess it's pretty much literally what pseudoscience is. But when he was talking, because there's been a couple of these where he'll throw in like these buzzwords like something quantum leap and talking about molecular structures, like how you're becoming. We've already talked about it, but I also thought it was funny. I wrote a note about it, and the same. It's actually the same thing as Steffi said. It was like, try it out and you will be the evidence, which was
It's
funny
true.
because I'm wondering like how many pictures are the evidence? Like, does he have a page on his website with like, here's pictures of people who are evidence?
They
Like,
weigh
I-
them. They
I-
weigh them before and after the
Yeah.
book. Physically lighter.
That's the litmus test. It's like if their density goes down after
It's like-
reading the book, it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think
I don't
there
know.
is like I don't think there is anything that like you could fucking. There's no like
You
real
measure.
proof. Yeah,
Yeah.
there's no like real way to like prove that you're lying. Like you just sound like you can't talk about it because you just sound like a pretentious asshole.
Yeah.
So
Or you
Yes,
sound like
you
you're
are.
crazy.
I guess the only way to measure it is like if they're actually like genuinely happy, which is
Yeah, just measure their mood, like self-reported mood. But
Yeah,
Well,
if they're-
even then, it's like you have to be around them like a lot of time to.
I don't know. Some
know
people you
them.
can just tell they're mad at fucking everything and they hate the world. They're
Yeah, but
definitely not
some
enlightened.
people like put on a front like a
Uh.
mask to like they pretend to be happy.
what the
hide it, yeah.
mask is?
Yeah. Well, have you ever met those people that like you
Yeah,
only meet
Ellen.
them very small amount
Ellen
of
from
time?
HR.
Yeah,
Ellen.
from HR. Yeah, she's one of those people. She's cringe.
Yeah, you
She's
talk to them.
cringe.
Yeah, you talk to them. A
Yeah,
very
you had your
small
experience
amount,
with her
and-
when you worked in the pharmacy.
Oh yeah, she's fake happy, and it's like you can obviously tell she's not very. She's a very bad actress. But,
She's putting on her happy face.
Some people are good actors, and then so like you'll meet them and like intermittently and stuff like that, and they'll like seem happy, but then like the people that fucking commit suicide in the background. So
Yeah.
it's kind of hard to measure like how happy somebody actually is unless you're like around them like a lot.
You
Like,
know
a
what's
lot.
going on.
Like basically you have to live with them, type of thing.
You know what I think I learned from that expression where he said try it out? I think that's what you should tell anyone that like doubts you when you say something. You're like, try it out for yourself.
Yeah, I tell Brett and Blake whenever they're like, "Oh, you're gay," and I'm like, "Yeah, try it out."
I gotta try it
Little
out.
does he know.
I'm more gay than you.
Don't knock it till you try.
I'm gayer.
I'm the gayest.
What does that even mean? I don't want to know what it means. Never mind.
It means you pay
Steffi will tell you what it
more
means.
into taxes. That's
Yeah.
what it means to be gay. You pay more
And I have a
into taxes.
fancier breed of dog.
Hmm.
You know, I always thought that's funny that like it's sad for the dogs when it's like the trendy dog, you know, and people pay X amount of dollars from it and they feel like they got a status because they paid a lot of money for some crossbreed.
Yeah, I paid like 12 grand
Like a
to become
fucking
like gay.
That's so true. What is it? Some doodle or some stupid ass shit where there's like there's a bunch of
everything's doodle. Everything,
Yeah, there's a bunch of different
and stuff like
doodles.
that. I got a
Everything's
purebred
doodle.
poodle. I'm better.
like I got a
than
shit
you.
doodle and it's like cool.
I got a shit doodle.
I didn't know until I talked to somebody that has a doodle, like, because they were like, "Oh no, these are Bernedoodles.
I
So it's
paid
like talking
7
about-
grand for this
they
piece
were
of shit.
talking about a poodle, and you could tell they were like so irritated. These are not poodles. I'm like, they're half poodle.
They're just
Look
mutts.
at that. They were like disgusted with poodle. I'm like, but your dog is half poodle. I don't understand. You hate
It's
like
a half
50%
breed.
of the dog or what?
This is a doodle. This is a cinnamon doodle. This is a cheeseburger.
This is like, yeah, this is
This is an
a
upside down
quesadilla.
inverted
A
doodle. Yeah.
chowiener.
A tweener.
It has a
No, one of my
a
friends, she
name.
had one. That's what she called it. A chowiener is a wiener and a chihuahua.
Oh my god, that's
This
too
big
weird.
one. A tweener.
It's funny how they went from like a mixed breed to like no, we'll call it designer dog. People will pay so much more for it instead of mixed breed or crossbreed or hybrid.
The mixed breeds and the mutts are usually the most smart one, the more smarter ones and intelligent ones.
So
I think
true.
it's just honestly like I think you just have to teach the dog how to use its brain. Obviously,
I don't know,
there's
dude.
variants.
Like my dad had a purebred lab, and this dog would eat his own shit. You
There's
can't
nothing wrong
train
with
that out
that.
of a
Well,
dog.
Labradors are like one of the most inbred fucking species of dogs.
Or no, he would no. It was like not a Labrador. It was some other dog. No, it was a hunting dog. It wasn't a beagle. I think it was a German hair or gray hair pointer or something like that, or German pointer.
Oh yeah, GSP. Yeah, they're
Yeah, this dog would. Yeah, he'd eat his own shit and just look at you like just retarded as hell. I was like, all right, yeah,
There's
that's
no
not how we
difference.
feel about you.
There's nothing going on behind
He's
his
probably
eyes.
living in the now.
So
living
true.
now.
He's living in the now.
Yeah, just like the same thing happens with humans. Some of them they're not. It ain't meant to be.
I think a lot of them just have untapped potential. Like they had no
Yeah.
training and they never
Yeah,
really got to. I think a dog, to be honest, is a reactionary creature. That's why they like hear something, they bark. You know, they don't really like, oh, is that the mailman or my master? They just hear the noise and they respond to it. You know, but when you train the dog, you're actually getting them to engage and think
Yeah.
about things.
Yeah, you're right about that. I've seen like when you had your dogs and all that, like how they listen to you. That's all about training.
Yeah, Briggs was trying to tell me, he's like, your little dogs aren't like little dogs, and I'm like, psychotic. I'm like, because they actually think, they have brain. I train them. I
Like
treat them how they should be.
Kazooie's my favorite one. That dog's something else.
He's funny.
Yeah, he's a weirdo. He's very
He's too smart. He's too smart.
He is too smart.
Yeah. I don't have any more notes. For the book.
Is this the end of the book club?
I think this is the end.
I think so.
All right. I'm also not editing this. So like the
Oh my
Oh
god.
boy, you're gonna get
Staying
blood.
in.
You're gonna
There's
get
the
shadow
one
banned.
slur per video.
it's
Brush your
okay
teeth,
because
bitch.
I'm a homosexual, so I can say the word.
You're
That's
entitled to
our
say it.
word.
So YouTube algorithm, you can go fuck yourself. You fucking.
Whoa, whoa.
That's the second one. We're
Watch,
demonetized.
now you're really not gonna get
Watch-
any views.
How many people watch these when you post them anyways?
Not very many.
Nobody.
We better hope
Nobody.
Kazooie doesn't become
Us.
famous, because then it'll be.
They won't be fun. You'll be blacklisted from Schmollywood. Schmellywood. All right. Have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
All right, good night.
See you.